Springfield, Missouri. Early summer, 1885. He's dead. But I didn't come to kill him. I just wanted to know. Zeb McAllister stared at Abe Galloway, the man lying on the ground, blood pooling in the dirt by his side. Now it would only continue. The fight between the McAllisters and the Galloways was turning into a repeat of the Hatfields and McCoys back east. To this day, Zeb didn't know what had started it. Now he might never know. "You tried to stop this thing, but 'twon't work now. You better get." The wizened man scrubbed a lined hand across the crevices of a face weathered by storms of both soul and climate. "I knowed no good would come of this." Jed used a dirty finger to close the dead man's eyes. "They say dead men look peaceful, but you gotta have peace in your soul first." Zebulon shook his head. Peace was what he'd been seeking. He hadn't meant for this to happen. Would the sheriff believe self-defense? Not much chance. Too many men had heard Zeb's father, Zachariah McAllister, order his only son to swear on the family Bible that he would seek vengeance for Zachariah's spilled-out blood. It didn't matter how many years ago that promise had been made, nor how many times Zeb had tried to restore the friendship between the neighboring families. Old Abe Galloway was as dead as he could ever be, and Zebulon McAllister had pulled the trigger. Zeb stared down at the rifle clenched in his hand. The desire to fling it into the oak scrub brought his arms up, poised to release the stock and send the gun spinning into eternity. Guns had been used for killing folks far too long already, and there was no end in sight. But years of having his pa's creed hammered into his head enabled him to keep the grip firm, and he brought the Winchester back to his side. He could hear the words as if Pa stood right beside him. "Treat your rifle better'n you do any woman, for only your rifle will remain faithful to you." Today bore out that truth. His rifle had saved his life. "You're bleeding, son." Zeb looked at the trail of red oozing down his arm. "Only a flesh wound." "'Twere mighty close. Granny says an inch is as good as a mile." "That she do." "What do you want to do with the body?" Jedediah McAllister, Zeb's nearest uncle, nudged the dead man's leg with the toe of his boot. "You think there's any chance they'll think he's run off if we bury him?" Old Jed shook his head. "They knowed he was coming to meet you." "Then leave him here." Zeb spun on his heel. "Maybe Ma's got breakfast ready. Come on." "You sure you don't want to dump him in the cave?" Zeb paused. "That might slow him down a mite." He turned and grasped the dead man by the ankles. "You take the head and I'll lead. We'll clean up the trail on the way back." Grunting, the old man did as Zeb told him.